Hello, Sadness. What a fitting title to this episode of Parasyte. It definitely suits. It straight up definitely suits the atmosphere and mood of this episode. The sadness at the end of this episode is just something else. You know, thinking about it, the ending has so much meaning. That one scene when Izumi is about to tell Murano about his secret with Migi, and you see him yelling this in his mind and all that. You see his pained face at the end of the episode. You see it all over his face, what he wants to say. And you see Migi's claws about to stab her if he says anything. The pain in Izumi's face is sad as fuck. It really is. And he's trapped in his own body. He really is. He can't talk to anyone. He can't relate to anyone. He is literally trapped inside of his own body, and he can't say anything. He was witness to what exactly he could possibly do, or what would happen to people if they found out about his secret. That journalist that was following Izumi in this episode, and pretty much found out his secret, Migi went off and attacked him. I mean, Migi did say a long time ago at the beginning of the series that he would kill anyone that finds out about the secret because he will protect his life and, you know, pretty much Izumi, since technically they're combined. But pretty much with that aspect, okay, Izumi comes face to face with this conflict. He comes face to face with his actual situation. Because if he is to reveal his secret, no matter who it is, even to his own father, his father is in jeopardy of even being killed by Migi. So, he is prisoner. Izumi straight up is prisoner inside of his own body. And honestly, it might be even worse than actually having your brain taken over and having a parasite control you like a puppet. Because Izumi has to witness this firsthand. There's nothing he can fucking do. I mean, even though he has some say and control over his body, and Migi technically just has a hand, still, Migi can still kill people. And if you try to relate with anyone or talk to anyone about what's going on, Migi will just kill that person. So, Izumi at this episode, when it said Hello Sadness, like the title, I was just like, damn, this is sad. It is a really sad episode because it just shows you the hardships that Izumi is having to go through. And, like, even if he wants to be sad and he wants to cry on someone's shoulder and actually, you know, convey his emotions to someone, he cannot do that. He cannot do that at all. He can't go talk to anyone about what's going on because, you know, Migi. And the thing is, too, I mean, it's not just that. He has to put up a strong front, even though we know he's losing a part of himself, and, you know, he's becoming less human because of Migi's cells traveling through his body and somewhat into his brain. We do know he's losing emotions to where he can calm down a lot easier. He's, you know, his thoughts are more clearer now, and at the exact same time, it makes it to where he can't really show emotions or cry anymore, but he does still technically have emotions as a human being, just he can't show them as well, and he has to put up a strong front. You really have to see how he has to put up a strong front when he wants to say something. Like, Murano, this girl, his childhood friend he's known for such a long time, and, you know, has a crush on him, and he has a crush on her, pretty much. He's having to deal with the slow separation of their relationship, as we can see in this episode. Like, they're splitting apart, and they're getting further and further apart, or that relationship will not be fixed, because you clearly saw that Murano confronted him and said, like, what is really going on? What is really going on with you? And, you know, she wanted answers. She definitely wanted answers, but she didn't get any answers. And it was not really the fault because of Izumi, but because of Migi wouldn't allow that. And pretty much he actually put, you know, Murano's safety over his own well-being, after his own self. That's pretty much what Izumi did in this episode. He pretty much allowed himself to suffer for Murano's life. Pretty much. He wanted to protect her, but at the cost of his own well-being and his own humanity, pretty much. He had to forcefully put aside his own humanity of wanting to show emotions, and that, man, it gets to you when you see something like that in this episode. Now, this episode of Parasyte, it pretty much is a slow build-up episode for things to come. You have it to where the dude, the journalist, finds out about Migi, and he's still technically alive. He's not dead, and he hasn't told anyone, as I can see. Like, he hasn't said nothing. I mean, he has gotten surgery, as we can see. Like, we see him got a cast on, stuff like that. So he's definitely went for medical help, but we don't know exactly if he's told anyone about Migi yet or not. So I really, really hope that maybe, just maybe, there might be a possibility that Izumi could be you know, out of this ordeal where he won't be targeted or turned into a lab rat, because here's my entire angle on this. If the government officials really want to be good, like if they really want to do something smart, if they do find out about Migi and Izumi, they should recruit Izumi to work for them. That's what I think should honestly happen, because if Izumi works with the government and all that, and Migi actually understands and doesn't try to kill people, Migi could be in a very good situation too, because they wouldn't be hunted down by the government officials, their family most likely would be safe, because they'll be put up to somewhere where they can be safe, and also, they'll find a way to where most likely they could take out the other parasites with Migi and Izumi's help. That most likely could possibly happen, but besides that, before it ever happens, something like that will go down eventually. I know for a fact it will. It's obvious. The foreshadowing, the build-up, and the direction this series is taking is definitely pointing towards Izumi eventually losing his own human, regular life, and he's eventually going to have to go on the run, or he's going to have to become a lab rat or something like that. And so, I'm curious to see exactly what direction this series is going to take. I missed it last week. I really missed this series last week. It really sucked it was on break. I mean, it came around Wednesday last week, and I was like, shit, it's not coming out. It sucked. It really did. I'm glad Parasyte is back. I'm glad we got a lot more episodes to go. The story is getting very interesting, and it's a very sad episode. What a way to start, you know, Parasyte once again in the second half. Oh yeah, they didn't change the opening song. I noticed that. They did not change the opening song whatsoever. What the fuck? Hey, I love the Parasyte opening. Don't get me wrong. The Parasyte opening's fucking badass. But no opening. Okay. I mean, hey, I'd rather have this opening than an opening that doesn't hold up to the first opening. So, hey, I'll deal with it. Overall, that is my thoughts on Parasyte episode 13. Tell me your thoughts in the comments below. How did you feel about this episode of Parasyte? Are you glad it's back? Did you think it was worth the wait? How do you feel about Izumi's entire situation of how he's being a prisoner inside of his own body? How do you feel about the situation with Murano and him? Let me know in the comments below. I love you all so much. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. Please be safe. Chibi out.